Coming up on Sports Paws, former women's head lacrosse coach is now suing the school. We have more on this story.
Field hockey took a trip up to Orono, Maine, looking to go 3-0 for the first time in program history. Could they get it done?
Women's soccer opened up MAC play on Saturday against Rider. Let's see how they did.
All that and more coming up on Sports Paws, starting right now.
Welcome back to Studio 125 for another episode of Sports Paws. I'm Brittney Bronleben.
And I'm Zach Naffah. Brittney, almost every fall sports season has begun, but we're starting tonight's show off with news surrounding one spring program.
Former women's lacrosse head coach Tanya Kotowicz is suing Quinnipiac University in a Title IX lawsuit. TK was released from the school on January 3rd of 2024 after an internal investigation accused Kotowicz of allegedly playing an injured athlete.
The complaint was filed on August 21st with TK and her lawyer claiming that she was treated differently than male coaches and that she was subject to, quote, sex discrimination. According to documents, the return date is set for September 30th, 2025. Women's tennis's Willow Renton has been selected for the Intercollegiate Tennis Association All-American Championships. Renton is the first Bobcat in program history to be invited to the event. She helped lead the Bobcats to their 8th MAC tennis title this past spring. 2025 ITA pre-qualifying singles round will take place September 20th and 21st in Cary, North Carolina.
After starting their season 2-0 for the first time since 2012, senior goalie Cristina Torres and sophomore midfielder Francisca Escoyes were named to the Big East honor roll. Torres made 11 saves on the weekend and only gave up 1 goal. Escoyes tallied 5 points, scoring 2 goals and completing 1 assist. Field hockey took a trip to Orono to take on the Maine Black Bears, looking to make history and go 3-0. The last time the Bobcats started their season 2-0 was 2012. Now they're looking to be the first Bobcat field hockey team to start a season 3-0. They have to get through a tough Maine Black Bears team to do it though. Blink and you might miss it. A quick save from Maine's Jade Tempe, keeping the Bobcats off the board early on in the first. See her kick that out of bounds. Going into the second quarter of action, Bobcats are on the attack, and Lucia Donati puts a strong shot on net and scores to put the Bobcats up 1-0 over the Black Bears. Donati picks up her first goal of the season and 4th of her young career. Just over a minute later, Maine has possession in the offensive zone. A shot comes in and is tipped in by Bryn Gillespie into the back of the net. The game's all tied up at 1. Into the early minutes of the 4th, Bobcats with a penalty corner, and it's 2 shots faced for Tempe and 2 big-time saves to keep this game tied. No goals were seen in the 4th, so we're headed to overtime. About 3 minutes into extra time, Quinnipiac fouls Maine trying to cause a turnover, and the Black Bears take advantage. A long pass all the way from midfield reaches the stick of Sarah Floor. She gets around the Bobcat defender and beats Cristina Torres for the game-winning overtime goal. Maine will win this battle 2-1 in overtime. Despite the loss, Torres made 7 saves for the Bobcats, keeping her and the team in it till the very end. The Bobcats will drop 2-1 on their start of this season.
But that wasn't the only game this weekend for field hockey. The Bobcats would stay in Orono, Maine, but they're not facing the Black Bears. This time they're taking on the Stonehill Skyhawks, looking to rebound after the loss. Into the first quarter we go. Micah Van Wensen puts a shot on goal. It's stopped, but if at first you don't succeed, try again. It pays off for Van Wensen. Her second effort goes, giving the Bobcats a 1-0 lead, the first goal of Van Wensen's career. Moving into the third quarter, Mo Quayle getting in on the action. She gets around not 1, but 2 defenders, rips a shot into the back of the net, giving the Bobcats a 2-goal lead. Also the first NCAA goal for Quayle on the play. 2 minutes later now, the Bobcats are back on offense. Rosemary Van Koolen gets around a Skyhawk defender, finds Quayle backdoor. Quayle gets her second of the game. The lead is now up to 3 goals for the Bobcats. Moving into the fourth quarter, Francisca Escoyes gets in on the scoring. She puts a shot in the bottom of the net, giving the Bobcats a 4-0 lead. Escoyes now up to 3 goals in just 4 games this season. Later in the quarter, Brittney might want to pay attention to this play. We'll definitely see it again later. Escoyes, from the middle of her defensive zone, sends that ball into the stratosphere. It comes down off of one bounce right onto the stick of Van Koolen. She gets around the goalie and scores. Makes this game 5-0 Bobcats. What a play. That'd be all she wrote. The Bobcats pull off the dominating win over the Skyhawks. improving to 3-1 on the season. The team will now set their sights to Friday as they take on Boston University up on Calm Ave in Boston, Massachusetts. They've already surpassed their win total from a year ago. Over the weekend, Q30 Sports received questions on X about the field hockey team, and beat reporter Thomas Curtis is here to answer them.
Thomas, take it away.
Thanks, guys. The Quinnipiac field hockey team went 1-1 this weekend up in Orono to move to 3-1 on the season. I'm here at the Field Hockey Stadium to talk about some questions that you sent in to Q30 Sports on X. The first question is, what were the biggest changes from last season to this season? And my answer to that is the lack of change. It's been a lot of continuity from the staff, Nina Klein and company, and then the players. Last season, it was a young team with Francisca Escoyas leading the charge on the goal-scoring end, but it was Martina Calvea, Lucia Donati, and others that kind of came back this season, and they were here throughout the offseason, and that change is really just their development. It's not anything that they brought in the transfer portal. It's just continuity. Cristina Torres is a senior goalkeeper, and she's done well in goal. So it's just players coming back. It's not really a big change in the offseason. The next question is, with the Big East being such a powerful conference, what teams can the Bobcats go out and compete against? I would say it's 3 teams that went 500 in the Big East last year. It's Villanova, Liberty, and Providence. I think that's where Quinnipiac kind of falls into this season. Those teams have more continuity than Quinnipiac does. Quinnipiac, this is their first season with continuity. Those teams have kind of built it through the last couple of years, but I think those are teams that they can go out and compete with, maybe even pick up a couple wins. They played a lot of close one-score games last season, and if they flip a couple of those outcomes, they're much better in conference than 0-7 last year. So they'll improve, and if they compete with those teams, they'll even have a chance against, the UConn or the Old Dominion. They won't win those games, but it'll look much more competitive than it was last season. The next question is, why has the defense been doing so well? And it's an easy answer. I mentioned Cristina Torres, the senior goalkeeper. She's been excellent. The team's given up 31 penalty corners throughout 4 games, but she stopped all of them. She's only given up 3 goals through 4 games. It's really an easy answer. Why have the Bobcats kept goals off the board? And it's who's in net, Cristina Torres. And the final question is, how legit is this squad's hot start? What will it take to keep winning in conference play? To put it simply, the first weekend they played 2 teams in Bucknell and Holy Cross that were 3 lost teams throughout their first 4 games. The next weekend, Maine, they lost 2-1 in overtime, so that's encouraging because that's a team in the America East that played a tougher schedule to start the season, and then they beat Stonehill 5-0. They beat Stonehill last year when they only won 2 games, so that was kind of a gimme game for me. I was really hoping they'd go out and dominate Stonehill, and they did. They won 5-0. So I think it's encouraging to see that they're going and beating teams that might be inferior this season. And really competing with a main team that played against BC and Indiana, 2 ACC and Big Ten competitors. So far, they've played teams that haven't won as much, but they've handled those teams, so it's encouraging. And when you get into conference play, you just need to beat the teams that you're better than. And if you're better than Liberty, if you're better than Providence, then you go there and win those games. That's what it's going to take in conference play. That's all I've got from the Field Hockey Stadium. Back to Brittney and Zach on the desk.
We have to take our first break of the night, but when the show returns, we talk about the women's soccer team's MAC opener against the Rider Bronx. Could Bobcats start play on the right foot?
Speaking of openers, we will also cover the rugby team's home opener against Brown. Could the Bobcats bounce back after their loss to Dartmouth last week? Find out when Sports Paws comes back.
Do you enjoy debating Quinnipiac Sports?
That's all flash, no catch. She didn't net it in the back of the net. That's not even a goal.
What are you doing pulling out rhymes?
That's like a crossover with a missed layup. All right.
Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you, with debate, analysis, and so much more.
Mate Marinov. He is good, but oh man, is he bad. And
that team is amazing. How do you not put Fairfield women's volley?
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing we do to keep us focused.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health.
Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to keep your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Let's dive right back into the action. Women's soccer opened MAC conference play at home on Saturday against the Rider Bronze. The Quinnipiac women's soccer team started 0-3 and are looking for their first win of the season. In the first half, over 2 minutes in, a shot by Riders' Ava Ferry, saved by Gwen Hoyt, squeaks by her and rolls over the line. The Bronx take an early 1-0 lead. A few minutes later, Marta Ana Corona swings a corner in. It's deflected by Audrey LaFive to Morgan Cooper, who just puts it over the crossbar. Still 1-0 Rider. In the 25th minute, Earl is there to take control. She passes to Melina Bronco, who fires past Rider goalie Kaya Lynn to tie the game 1-1. Almost immediately after, a loose ball is chased down by Earl, who puts it just wide. Score remains 1-1. Later on, off a Rider corner, Ava DeGeorge volleys it into the box. Gwen Hoyt makes the save. The score still remains 1-1. 5 minutes into, Corey Anderson curls a corner kick into the box, where Kupo waits and finishes it at header past Lynn. Quinnipiac takes a 2-1 lead. A few minutes later, Clara Bankston swings in a corner for the Bobcats. The five heads it toward the goal, but it's deflected. The score remains 2-1. Just before the final whistle, last chance for Rider, but Olivia Jarvis saves it. She would finish with 3 saves and 0 goals against the replacing Holt. The Bobcats would take this game 2-1, and they will head to Western New York to take on the Niagara Purple Eagles next Saturday at noon. The women's soccer team hosted the Youth U11 Wallingford Cobras soccer team on Saturday.
Women's soccer beat reporter Rose Carrata has more on the story.
The Quinnipiac women's soccer team won their matchup against Rider on Saturday 2-1, but they were playing for something more important. A very special youth girls soccer team was in attendance.
The U11 Wallingford Cobras were this game's special guests, and their head coach, Matt Pasquarelli, said that this experience will stay with the girls forever. Goaltender Olivia Jarvis knows that feeling all too well.
Back home and stuff, I worked with youth camps and youth teams there, and it always I love it so much because they hope to be here someday. And I just remember when I was a little kid, going to these games.
The event was organized by Quinnipiac women's soccer alumni Melissa Ganias, whose daughter plays for the Cobras. Head coach Dave Clark coached her from 2000 to 2003.
She's one of our best ever players. She's an All-American in high school, so bringing her daughter back connects that circle a little bit. Also then every single player on this field was one of those players at one time. So understanding that they had role models, whatever college game they may have gone to or youth game, it's important that they don't ignore them. We'd love to have more teams here, more kids, but no, it's good for them.
Role models like the Bobcats are what keep young girls motivated to pursue professional sports careers.
It just felt amazing, watching and having an inspiration push me every day to work harder and harder to get to this point. So, and it means a lot because they're also our biggest fans. I love hearing them cheer.
Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Rose Carrata.
The men's soccer team traveled down Whitney Avenue to take on the Yale Bulldogs. The Bobcats got out to a 1-0 lead late in the first half thanks to sophomore Frederick Moen. Yale would tie things up in the 70th minute, but just 2 minutes later, Joey Saputo Jr. gave Quinnipiac a 2-1 lead. The Bobcats looked like they would head home to Hamden with their first victory of the season, but the Bulldogs answered in the 90th minute, knotting the game at 2 and forcing a draw. Quinnipiac now sits at 0-3-1 on the season. This next match will be the first home game of the season against Division II Caldwell University. One squad that has opened up its home slate is rugby. They took on the Brown Bears at home on Saturday, looking for a bounce-back win. So rugby returning to Hamden for the first time this school year. Bobcats taking on the Brown Bears in an NIRA matchup. Sophomore Layla Cox running onto the field. She's looking to follow up a fantastic first year. In the first half, Quinnipiac nearing the try-zone. Gabriella Pia drives through a couple Brown Bears, and she converts Quinnipiac's first try of the year. They'd missed the conversion and would add another try and conversion to make it 12-0, but Brown trying to get back into the game. Larissa Barbosa, she barrels through the Bobcats into the try-zone. Brown would add the conversion to make it 12-7. Score still at 12-7. Back down on the other end, Quinnipiac will pitch the ball out to Layla Cox. She'll find a lane, navigating her way into the try-zone, 17-7, QU. Later on, still down by 10, Apia getting loose. She'll try to almost break into the try-zone. The ball will then find Kelsey Thomas. Brown denies her again. Knocking on the door is Quinnipiac. Third time's the charm, though. Cox gets the ball. She'll barely get over the line for the try. Makes it 22-7 Bobcats. They would miss the conversion. Now near midfield, Brown trying to break through the Quinnipiac defense. Anna Wright pokes the ball out. Brown picks it up again, but Wright shuts that down with a slam, keeping the score at 22-7. Brown picks up a penalty, so QU has a penalty kick. Alex Kirshner sends the ball through the uprights to end the half. Bobcats up 25-7. After 20 minutes, Brown looking to get back on the scoreboard. They get the ball back to Barbosa. She forces her way back into the try zone. Julia Murray would add the conversion to make the score 28-14, but that would do it. The last points of the game go to Brown, but they fall to Quinnipiac 33-14. Bobcats getting their first victory of the season. While the Bobcats took home the victory, there are plenty of areas to improve.
Rugby beat reporter Zach Stokinger has the story.
The Quinnipiac rugby team picked up its first win of the season over Brown in a 33-14 victory in their home opener. With a new season brings a new team and a new set of challenges, and the Bobcats have their sights aimed on a lot more this season.
Quinnipiac started the year slow, falling to Dartmouth 59-0 in the opening game. But after a bounce back on Saturday, head coach Becky Carlson still believes that the team has areas to improve in.
Oh, did you watch ball security? For sure. Every single time we made advancements up, we gave the ball right back to them, and you can't do that in our league. You play against a Dartmouth, a Harvard, because Dartmouth punished us for that. They didn't punish us for that. We got lucky, for sure.
Sophomore wing Layla Cox, who contributed 2 tries on the day, agrees with their head coach. But she also believes that there's more to be done as a team on the field.
It's just, like I said, defense. I think we needed to get spread up faster, because that's how they got their 2 tries, was they exploited our holes. And I think it would be support. We had lots of great breakaways, but then we didn't have that support runner that would clear over and try to get the ball back, or even an offload. So I think we just need to improve on those 2 things.
The Bobcats are a storied program in the NIRA, winning 3 straight national titles in 2015, 2016, and 2017. Carlson has set the team's goal to get back to national contention.
Our identity is going to be that we are a program that has a rich legacy of winning, and we want to bring that back. They are hungry to bring that back. They don't like seeing the gap on those 3 national championships. They don't like it. And something we actively talk about, it's language that we haven't used in a couple of years because we weren't putting the pressure on. We're putting the pressure on now, and they're responding to it. So,
with the expectations set and the goal clear, the Bobcats are looking to add another title to their scoreboard. I'm Zach Stokinger reporting for Q30 Sports.
We're going to take a short designated water break here in the studio, but don't go anywhere, because the volleyball team traveled down to Baltimore, Maryland for the Towson Morgan State Invitational. Volleyball beat reporter Anthony Rossi breaks it all down next.
And it's everyone's favorite time of the night, the top 5 plays of the week. I know one of my picks. Stick with us to see if your picks made it too.
Reporting from the Grove for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Miller Library for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Mount Carmel campus for Q30 News.
Reporting on Whitney Ave for Q30 News.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking.
but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Buckle up! Nobody is more prepared for an emergency than Dogman.
With all your kung fu skills and your canine fortitude or whatnot.
But for the rest of us, a good plan goes a long way.
Come on, let's go!
So, whether it's an unexpected disaster or the world's most evilest cat bent on destroying all do-gooders,
Destroy all do-gooders!
you can help your family be ready for anything.
No time to waste. Will you get out of here?
Get started today at ready.gov/kids.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. After a quick stop at the hydration station, we're ready to serve up the rest of the show.
Let's bump this over to volleyball beat reporter Anthony Rossi.
Thanks, guys. The volleyball team traveled down to Baltimore, Maryland for the Towson Morgan State Invitational and came out with a win and 2 losses. We start out on Friday where the Bobcats took on the Morgan State Bears of the MEAC Conference, and the Bobcats ended up dropping that in 4 sets, where the Bears took it 3 sets to 1. In the first set, the Bobcats started out pretty hot, winning that set 25-21 over the Bears, but the Bears took the next 3 sets, winning 25-15 in the second set, 25-21 in sets 3 and 4, respectively. Taking a look at the stats from that game, Elena Giacomini, the preseason player of the year in the MAC, had 12 kills, which led the Bobcats. Vittoria Tonelli had 8 kills for the Bobcats, the first year coming in for the team. Looking over at Morgan State, Hannah Nemeth had 14 kills, and Daniela Ferreira had 12 of her own. In the digs category, Carola Negron Diaz and Tamari Wardlaw had 11 digs respectively to lead the match. In the second match of Friday afternoon, the Bobcats fell to the Towson Tigers 3-1 as well. Towson won the first 2 sets 25-18 and 25-21 respectively. The Bobcats took the third set 25-14, but the Tigers turned it on in the fourth set, winning 25-15. The Bobcats were led in kills by Elena Giacomini with 15. Yammer Ganesh also pitched in with 10 of her own. Damla Ganesh barely played in this match for the Bobcats, as first-year setter Clara Olszewska had 33 assists for the Bobcats. Towson really dominated, getting the balls off the ground, getting Sydney Stewart 18 digs and Taylor Pagan 10, having a double-double for her. And then on Saturday, the Bobcats wrapped up the Towson and Morgan State Invitational by defeating the Stonehill Skyhawks 3 sets to 1. The Bobcats beat the Skyhawks in the first set 25-18. The Skyhawks took the second set in extras 27-25. And the Bobcats clinched the match in the third and fourth set, winning those 27-25 and 25-22 respectively. Elena Giacomini had 21 kills for the Bobcats. Yammer Ganesh had 16 of her own. The Skyhawks were led in kills by Mia Berardino with 15, and Kaylin Watson had 6, while Abby Farrell also had 6 kills. Olszewska and Damla Ganesh split the match in assists. While Olszewska had 24, Damla Ganesh had 23 assists. The Bobcats will be back in action next weekend as they head down to Charleston, South Carolina for the College of Charleston Invitational. That's all I have from the Rec and Wellness Center. Back to you guys at the desk.
Women's cross country's Rachel St. Germain has been named MAC Women's Runner of the Week. At the Stony Brook season opener, the senior runner finished in just under 14 minutes. The Bobcats won the event, scoring 28 points and having 5 runners finish in the top 10.
Women's ice hockey announced their leadership group for the upcoming year. Defender Mia Lapata will serve as the captain for the 2025-26 season. Fifth-year Bobcat defender has played 111 games with the team. Quinnipiac will also have 4 assistant captains, with senior defender Zoe Ewens, forwards Emerson Jarvis and Tessa Hulk, and goaltender Tatum Blacker wearing the A.
On Friday, women's tennis opened their season at home against Marist. Junior Lily Black won her first match as a Bobcat. Willow Renton, Caitlin Flower, and Caroline Scholson also won their individual matches. Quinnipiac won 2 double matches, consisting of Renton with Flower and Isabella Stignato with Scholson.
The team was back in action on Saturday, facing the University of Connecticut. Black and Flower each won in straight sets for their second singles match victories of the weekend. Bobcats also won 2 doubles matches, with Sicigano and Scholson competing for the second straight day, and Black partnering with Isabella Baker. Their match against Fairfield on Sunday was canceled. And now, Brittany, it's my first time on the show, and I'm so excited for top plays, but I'm not sure how many plays there are. I was thinking maybe 6, 7 plays.
No, Zach. It's top 5 plays. Let's take a glance at what they are. Number 5, volleyball taking on Townsend in Maryland. Clara Oweska sets up Elena Giacomini for the kill. She had 15 in the match. However, the Bobcats would lose 3-1.
At number 4, moving to women's soccer, their MAC opener against the Rider Bronx. Addison Earl passes it across to Milena Bronco. She fires in the back of the net, tying the game at 1. Quinnipiac would win 2-1.
Number 3, field hockey up north in Maine with under 10 seconds to go. Christina Torres makes not 1, but 2 saves with her blocker to keep the game tied. Let's take another look at this. The Bobcats would end up losing 2-1 and have more than them later on top 5.
Number 2, men's soccer, heading down Whitney Ave to take on Yale. Drew Seguro brings the ball into the box. He sets up a pass to Sivert Risdalsnes, who gives it to Joey Saputo. Tic-tac-toe, tap in a 2-1 lead. Game would end in a 2-2 draw.
Play number 1, field hockey taking on Stonehill, already up 4-0. Francisca Escoyes lines up the long, arching pass into the offensive zone. Rosemarin Van Koolen is waiting, and she snakes past the diving goalie and puts it in. Let's see this play one more time. The Bobcats win 5-0 and improve to 3-1 on the young season.
Yeah, Brittany, I'd say that was a great top 5 plays, especially early on in the season. That number 1 was great. My personal favorite, a little biased, I'd have to go with the men's soccer just to see their offense get going a little bit. Great passing from their midfielders and forwards. The first 2 goals of their season were scored by Luke Shirenbeck, a defenseman. Seeing the offense get involved to get some goals going was a great sign for that Bobcats men's soccer team.
No, I have to agree. That was a great goal by Joey Saputo. You know, they really had team chemistry there, really worked past the Yale goaltender. I thought it was great, but how could you not give it to field hockey? Rosemarin Van Koolen, the first year, stepping up, getting the goal right past the Stonehill goalkeeper. I thought it was beautiful.
It was great. Doing that little inside-out move. I don't know if they call it forehand, backhand in field hockey.
They do forehand, backhand.
Little forehand, backhand, getting past the goaltender. It was great. I have to give it the number 1 play, even if I'm a little biased towards men's soccer.
And field hockey, as we know, they're having a great season so far. Won 2 games, matching their winning games from last season. On Friday, they're playing at BU, which is ranked. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to work together. Because again, way different team from last season. But I'm interested to see, how Escoyes is going to take on the role of stepping back into the scorer and being that playmaker.
Yeah, Nina Klein and field hockey definitely finding their stride earlier in the season. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have here tonight on Sports Paws. Make sure to follow us on X and Instagram at Q30 Sports for all updates in Quinnipiac Sports. Thank you to all of the producers and our wonderful production team for working hard behind the scenes. I'm Zach Naffah.
And I'm Brittney Bronleben. Sleep tight, Bobcats.